Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. Thank you for waiting for us in the comments. If you guys ever have a chance to catch our show live, make sure you jump in the live chat because there's some amazing people there that get over there. They share information, they encourage one another, and they're just a big part of our community. And I'm very grateful for all of them. So I wanted to give a big shout out to our live chat and our friends there. So the stars are aligning, things are happening. Today's 4/4/2025, and Trump's playing the Trump card. And those of you that follow the Chan boards and my favorite letter of the alphabet know what that means. And it's all lining up. And apparently, the patient has been cured and is going to live and possibly be very rich. I've got more to share with you guys right after this. Maybe little Judy Shelton is actually Ruda. I don't know. We'll find out. We're going to talk about it right after this. Give us a like and share the video. Happy Friday, Westwood.
Happy Friday. Lovely Litecoin, Lisa.
Thank you. You're so sweet. I noticed all the great red in your video today. You had this wonderful red sweater or sweatshirt on, your Alabama hat. There you go. He is RED, remembering everyone deployed on a Friday, which we always do. Make sure you have a drink because you're going to need it after today.
You're going to need it.
Yeah. We got some interesting stuff. Oh. What you drinking, Westwood?
I am drinking some low tier, not absolute vodka, but some low tier vodka and some tonic water.
Uh-huh.
I'm on a liquid cleanse.
On a liquid cleanse. Well, it is plant-based, so
absolutely.
It's good to know.
Yeah, baby.
Up on the video today when you said, I'm going to have vodka, but I don't buy, what did you say? Like, I don't buy.
I'm going to have some absolute vodka. I'm like, no, not really. I'm going to get the generic vodka.
Oh my gosh. It was so funny.
Yeah.
If you know Westwood,
knock off absolute.
This. Yeah. Yeah. The guy is not paying extra for nothing.
No, I'm not. I'm not paying up. I'm just not doing it.
Buy silver and he's got to buy Litecoin.
It's on sale, baby. Can't help myself.
That's right. Those are the only two things he will not try to buy a discount, get a discount on. So,
man.
Funny.
We got a lot in common there as far as the thrifting. You know, there's that going on. Hey, you know, it's energies. You know,
that's right.
Sucking the marrow out of life. You know, grabbing those things that are valuable that everybody discards and throws away. One man's trash is another man's treasure. That's the way I look at it. You know, and you can substitute woman. You know, that's okay too. But not.
Oh. Someone's calling me.
It's
all my things are.
Jesus. And Lisa says, "Start the rapture."
Jesus is calling me. Oh, I don't think that'll happen until after at least Easter. From the comms that I saw today.
I'm not worried about it. You know,
I'm not worried.
Makes me wonder. You've seen some of those videos. You know, you see the whole Tartaria thing and all the buildings because we know those buildings were here before anybody showed up, and it makes you wonder because there's been that theory that hey, that 1,000-year reign already happened, and now we're like in kind of a hell, you know, period. You know, where Satan's ruling, and you know, and here we are.
Which part of the story did you think you tuned into? No, for sure.
Man, it's like got dropped in the wrong. You know, Quantum Leap. Remember that? You know, where you'd be like Ziggy. Yes. It's like, where did I end up? You know, yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like, that's what I was trying to ask Jay Widener about, but I was too nervous to structure the question.
And then he shut you down with the 3D.
Intelligently, yeah. And then he was like, sit down, we're in 3D. I was like,
oh. Lisa, trust yourself. Always trust yourself.
Because, Jay, I'm a homeschool mom, and I know that the fourth dimension engages time. And so I believe that is the prison that the, because they're mafia Jewish,
You too. You too.
yeah, use to enslave us. Because if you think about when you work, we're working and then we're putting our energy into money. Why? To time capsule it.
Yes. 100%
So,
to harness that energy for time. You're
yes,
right, a battery, a time capsule.
so that we can spend it for later. Yes, like a battery. Great.
That's all it is. You're locking it up in a battery. You know, the Energizer Bunny, all the bunnies, you know, Easter coming up. Bunnies, boom, boom. You know, it keeps on, you know. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a battery. We're looking for that battery to harness that energy and not have leakage. You know, we want to harness it, you know, in a good battery without the leakage so that they can carry through time. A time capsule, so to speak. So when you crack it open when you need it, it's got everything that you put into it. You know, it'd be like having a time capsule, you know, you did in grade school, you know, they take it out, you know, 20 years later, you go back for a reunion or something, you take it out, and it's like, wait a minute, there's only half the letters in here, half the words that were, what happened to them all? No, that's the Federal Reserve System. You know, it's like, wait a minute, I put all this stuff in here, and now it's half there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not even half. It's
I know, it's like 10.
3%.
You get a dime. You get one dime.
No, you don't even get a dime. You get 3 pennies. That's all you get.
Since 1913, you're right. It's like under 3 pennies, I think. It's ridiculous.
Probably. When I did my little presentation for Canada, it was like it was basically 3%, but it was like 3 or 0.399, whatever. I don't know. It was something.
I mean, can you imagine that though? You know, oh yes, we have all these banking runs and panics and crises, and oh, we'll fix it all with the Federal Reserve Act. You know, around Christmas when everybody went home, and we'll just vote it in and roll it through, and it's fine. We got this bank; it's gonna fix everything. Thank you, Woodrow Wilson. And then after the fact, he says, "Well, I think I just effed up my country. Oops." Right. Yeah, I mean, in his own words. And then, you know, if you had taken, like, you had $100 back then, and that would have been like, what, 5 ounces of gold, $20, you know, the $20 gold certificates, you know, you could have gotten 5 ounces of gold. Think about that. You could have saved $100. Oh, I'm going to put that under my mattress, or I'll pass that down to my children. And now you get the $100, Lisa, from your ancestors, you know, from 1913. You're like, oh, thanks. Thank you very much. And then you could have taken the 5 ounces of gold, which is what it was a representative of, and look at it now. That's, you know, what, $15,000 instead of $100. That's inflation. They just robbed you of all the energy, you know, They took.
He does the hand talking, and then he kicks himself out. Hold on, he's back.
Battery's not included.
I think it was from your hand talking. Your violent.
It probably is. I like manifested the button by just
Well, and that was a story that it's not a high priority topic, but it was interesting that so they've moved us into this, you know, credit card system where we don't notice us losing our value because we don't carry our weight in coins anymore. So then they brought us to like checks, then they brought us to cards, and now there's this tap to pay system. Well, there's a story floating around on Twitter, which I could pull it up for you guys if you want, but
the Burger King thing?
What is it?
Is it the Burger King thing?
No, I can go to the Burger King thing.
Yeah.
But there's a story floating around right now on Twitter that people are going to, like, this guy walked up at the grocery store or somewhere and he pulled out his card to tap to pay, and it zapped a different credit card that was in his wallet behind his bottom, through his body and behind him in his backside. Well, not in his backside, but you know what I mean? In his pocket.
Yeah. Junk in the trunk, baby.
Yeah. And then, so there's all these other stories coming out now where people are like, yeah, some lady was at a, like, I don't know, retail place. And she said that she went to pay for an item and 3 different credit cards because there were people in the store, got charged for that item. And the little girl working the register was like, it just pulled up it just charged 3 different things. And she didn't know what to do. And it's like, yeah, that whole tap to pay. So they went from like you carrying physical gold, silver.
You felt it. And so it was painful to take it out because you're like, let me put it back in my pocket. I really don't need that. because you had that physical connection. You had to pick it up and move it, and you're like, yeah, I don't want to give that away. So it was hard to pay. You're only going to pay for things that you really need, and you're
Well,
right.
and
And
that
then,
encourages saving, right? If you can feel the weight of something and you look
yeah,
at it, if you can, that's part of the thing we love about like antiques and vintage things and whatever, because we see the
tangible.
value in things as they age and we can look at them, we enjoy them. So we're getting like, we're increasing our quality of life by having something beautiful in our home.
Exactly. You're bringing beauty into your life. You can touch
Yeah.
it, feel it, see it, smell it sometimes. Whatever it is that you're getting, the tangible items. Hey, but you know what? The metaverse and Web3 fixes that, right? Maybe not.
I don't know. So I don't know. Well,
So now it's the lovely Litecoin Lisa who's frozen, I think. Is it me or is it Midnight? Oh, it's just Lisa. Look at that beautiful smirk. Hook her up, Buttercup. So, no, she's 100% right in the fact that, we had money, physical money that we held in our hands. We could feel it. We could touch it. We had a tangible connection to it. We had a frequency to it. Gold, silver. It's the frequencies attached to it are very important. And then they took that away from us slowly, through generations. And, it's, first, hey, well, we'll hold the gold for you. And then we'll give you a $20 bill that looks really pretty. And it says gold certificate, gold, redeem it for an ounce of gold. And then redeem a silver certificate. I've got some over here. Redeem a silver certificate for, an ounce of silver or, $1 worth of silver. And so, oh, well, it's fine. I can always go in and get that tangible item anytime I want. I'll just take one of those silver certificates and present it to the bank. They've got the silver, and then you can take the silver home. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't have to worry about it. It's so much more convenient than carrying silver around. I'll just carry these silver certificates around, and I can spend those anywhere. It's good. It's good as silver, baby. And then it's like, well, maybe we'll just take the gold out of the money and revalue it in 1933. Roosevelt confiscates it all, and then once you turn it in, it gets worth more money, so they could basically pay off that bankruptcy. And then the silver was still in the coinage, and it was in there until 1964. And until 1964, in dimes, quarters, even half dollars, you had 90% silver. And I use this analogy all the time to where you have 5 quarters from 1964 when minimum wage was, I think, $1.25 an hour. $1.25 an hour, minimum wage, 1964. Okay. You could take $1.25. It's kind of weird. But if you took it in paper bills, and added up, I guess $5. Let's say you worked 4 hours, you got $5. You take, I'll take that $5 bill, and then you hoarded it and you said, I'm going to save that for my kids or future. That $5 is going to be worth something because at the time, how much was a gallon of gas, whatever it is, the purchasing power, price of a house, $20,000, who knows? But if you had taken that $5 bill that you made for 4 hours work and saved it until now, you got a $5 bill. And what's the purchasing power of a $5 bill right now? Not a lot. I mean, you used to be able to take dollar bills into the club. Now you got to take $5 bills in the club. That's what you're dealing with, So you might get a little smile out of a $5 bill. But however, if you had taken the quarters, if you had taken the money, like $1.25 in minimum wage for an hour, if you had taken 5 quarters at the time and held them until now, let's do the math real quick. It's like, in my head, right now, those quarters, which were 90% silver at the time, if you take 5 of those times about, roughly, let's say $5.50 each, and so you're looking at, $22. $22 if you would save those, as opposed to, is that right? No, it's more than that, isn't it? Yeah, it's $22. And so you could have kept the $5 bill or the $1.25, take it times 5, I guess, if you're working 4 hours. All the math, it's hard on me. But I mean, it held its value over time. So those quarters have held value throughout time. And why did they hold value? Because they were a good battery, because silver held its value over time. So, I mean, the paper money, it did not hold its value. So at one point you could have transferred it, at a bank to get a physical asset in your hand. And then they took that away. Nixon, 1971, took us off the gold standard, even though we couldn't use gold as Americans to purchase things. That was gone a long time ago. They took us off of it August 15th, 1971. Nixon took it off the gold standard to where foreign countries could no longer take U.S. debt and redeem it for gold because everybody was doing it. They realized what we're doing. Hey, you're in this Vietnam War, you're printing a bunch of money up. We'll just take our gold, all right? And so he closed that window temporarily, if you look at his speech. And then we never went back. And since then, all it's been is print, print, print. And so if you open up your wallet today, it doesn't say silver certificate to where you can go to the bank and you can get silver for it. No. Right now, what you get for it is, instead of $1 worth of silver, which would have been, over $20, right now, probably $25. No, $1 buys you what? Not a damn thing. And so that's where we're at. I mean, it's a Federal Reserve note. It's no longer out of the Treasury. It's no longer anything that's held by us. It is just a promise to pay, a promissory note. And so, this dollar bill right here, Federal Reserve note, what's it buy? Nothing. Not a damn thing. And so you've got to hold things that have value in your hands, that hold energy over time, like we were talking about a battery, that you can always take out and put in that little toy, that Energizer Bunny, whatever it is that you use, put that battery in there and get a use case out of it. That energy is stored up, and that's what gold and silver are there for. Now we've moved into a point where I saw a commercial today. It was kind of funny. 1993, I think it was, when credit cards were first being, Burger King was first taking credit card. There's the lovely Litecoin Lisa. She's back, baby. I was doing a little quasi-drunk monetary history.
No, I'm glad you did.
And so it brings us back to the Burger King commercial that I saw today from 1993, where Burger King was one of the first fast food restaurants that were taking credit cards, and they were interviewing people. And it was, I don't know. I think it's going to slow things down, because what happens if the credit card doesn't go through? We got to call the bank and see if the money's there and that kind of thing. And the one guy says, I don't care. I just want my Whopper. It's like, I don't want to wait in line. I just want my Whopper, and I want it now. And it's just kind of funny to where, once it started going, because I remember I remember in 1999 when Toys R Us started taking, 99, 2000, the internet boom. Toys R Us was one of the first places like, oh, we'll take credit cards online. And everybody's like, oh my God, oh, that's not safe. We can't, that's not safe. You go online and put your credit card numbers in there. Oh my gosh, I don't know if we should do that. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. And then, here we are now. It's like everything's freaking digital. Everything's freaking digital.
If I use my GM card, I get a 5% rebate.
That's it.
Long enough, I'll be able to buy a pickup truck.
Burger King bosses say workers won't have to figure out how much change the customer gets back.
I just hope it doesn't slow things down at the cash and carry, that people are going to be having to call New York and get the confirmation or, whatever it is. Because when I want a Whopper, I want it now.
Just another way to spend money. I'm sure it'll work for people on vacation when they don't have to do something, but I can't imagine it working on a day-to-day basis here.
So far, the smallest credit has been for $2.50. The largest, just over 10. Jamie Costello, News Channel 2.
Just another way to spend money.
Hey, when I want my Whopper, I want it now.
Just another way to spend money. And that's where, when we got cut off, it's because we were saying where the value really is. It's not in the money. It's us putting our energy into the money.
Exactly. It's all a magic trick. Everything's a magic trick. What do you believe in? I mean, what is your belief? And so we have this magic trick, these dollar bills that we think we believe in. And then we realize, wait a minute. Hey, I've seen the same rabbit getting pulled out of the hat. I'm getting a little sick of it. It's the same rabbit. And I know it's, I don't know. Tired of getting deceived, And the fact that think about the credit cards, what they do, it just creates money out of nothing. And so why are we surprised that the cost of everything has gone up if you can just create money out of nothing? Hey, you get a $5,000 credit. Oh, now you get a $10,000 credit limit. Oh, now we'll give you $15,000. For what? I mean, just because, you are good enough with a credit score to be able to pay back the minimum payment. And so it's like, we'll give you all this magic money so you can go out and buy more Whoppers. I mean,
Well,
shoot,
there is
that's where we're at.
yeah,
Everything's inflated until now, because what we have I can't even get it right. What is it? The Liberation Day. That's what it is. So we're turning it on its head. We're watching the stock market plummet. We're watching all of the fake assets kind of fade away a little bit. And at the end of it, and this is what we've talked about forever. Just like spewing, I feel like I'm frothing at the mouth here. So what it comes down to is, at the end of this, whatever happens, it's going to be a different world. I don't know how it's going to end, but I know we're in a transition right now. We're not, thank God, having a great world war to reset things like we've done in the past. No, now it's tariffs, and it's a whole different mechanism. And at the other side of it, it's going to come down to real assets. And I believe this for a long time. You've got to have real assets. You've got to have something that you put your money into that's going to have value. You've got to have something that's sound money outside of a government. It's like Confederate notes. You thought you're going to win. I'm on the right side of history, baby. I'm fighting for the right cause, freedom, state sovereignty, and then you lose. And that's like, son of a bitch. How did they do that? Well, you lost, and so now all your money's gone. And it's like, well, now what? Well, we're going to impose all these rules on you and make you all citizens and enslave you in the corporation. And that's how it works. But I mean, we've got an opportunity now to get ourselves into things that are real, whatever they are, whatever the real things are that you need. Get those real things, have them in your possession, because they will have value and carry energy like a battery through this transition as we go forward.
So we've got some information about the transition, but this is a great explanation on the tariff piece.
This is the best explanation of the Trump tariff policies I have seen by far. And it's from a former Democrat. Share this with somebody who doesn't understand macroeconomics.
What I find so frustrating about the conversation around tariffs is that we all agree on the problem. We all agree that the deindustrialization of America led to the downward mobility of the American working class, deaths of despair, people working multiple jobs and not being able to afford the American dream. We all agree that it is deeply unfair for the American middle class to be bearing the burden of unfair tariffs from other countries. We all agree that it is great for the president to have leverage in order to demand reasonable things, like that countries stop allowing fentanyl to murder 100,000 Americans every year, and that Mexico do its part to police its own border. And yet when somebody has the courage to show up and say to Wall Street, screw you, I am waging war, I'm waging class warfare on behalf of the American working class, and you elites in Wall Street, you do what you need to do, because I'm not going to stop fighting for the American working class. Suddenly everybody is sitting around going, oh no, the stock market. Yeah, the stock market looks like that because the rich are punishing Trump for siding with the neglected and humiliated American working class over them. We have already seen these tariffs work, Pierce. The number of people crossing the southern border is at zero. Fentanyl is at record lows for the last 10 years. We have already seen $1.2 trillion in manufacturing invested in this country since January 21st. So they have already worked. Now, how long is Wall Street going to keep trying to punish this president for standing the American working class? I don't know, but I can tell you that the view from the street is people cannot believe that there is a president who is working for them, who is putting them first and telling Wall Street to go screw itself. Wall Street, which picked the Democrats for the last 3 election cycles in a row. That's what the real story is here. About Canada, a lot of people are asking, why Canada? We love Canada. Canada are our friends. Why wage this tariff war?
So I thought that was pretty brilliant. She goes on and on and on, but that's what's happening. That's why Wall Street's crashing, because it's been the whole thing about reward without effort for too long. And we've watched all the jobs leave. I watched Peter Santinello. He travels around, does documentaries about lots of different places, but he's been doing them about, America and all of this. He's done several about the border, which are really interesting, but He's talked about like what happened in Philadelphia. If you go watch his documentary about what happened in Philadelphia, Philadelphia used to be the manufacturing hub for America. And it was a beautiful place that was built because of that, because there was work, there was effort made. And then that was all shipped off, you know, behind our backs, thanks Bushes and Hillary, to China. And that's where our middle class went. And that's where the American dream went.
I mean, Ross Perot talked about it in 1992. That's why he ran for president. You know, it's that giant sucking sound, that NAFTA thing. You know, it's not a good thing. You know, and you look at it, you know, you look at history and you look at a certain point, that was kind of a watershed moment in a way. Because, you know, you had the handoff from Bush to Clinton, you know, man, it goes so far back. I mean, where you really start looking at it and just trace it back and you step backwards with the Bush, you know, the assassination of Reagan, you know, you got some guy that comes in there and wants to do the right thing. And it's, you know, and then you've just got that, you've got that seat influence. I mean, these dark organizations that came out of World War II, the only reason they exist is because of the money. I mean, you know, they could print unlimited amounts of money and fund all this stuff. And, oh, well, there's a threat over there. There's a threat over there. Oh, there's a communist behind every corner. And there were. I mean, you know, but the thing is, you know, they were pulling the strings. And there were a few people that stood up, Joseph McCarthy. You know, I mean, you know, there were people that actually did stand up and do the, you know, the interesting thing, go back to Joseph McCarthy and you look at, you know, there was a whole bunch of baggage here, I mean, you know, to unpack. But Joseph McCarthy, I mean, you know, you look at that whole trial, and one of the lawyers in there was, gosh, I feel I'm getting old. You know, I need to eat more coconut oil, you know, so I can feed the fat brain. But it was, gosh, what's his name? Trump's lawyer. What's his name? The gay guy that wasn't gay, you know, well, on the surface, but behind the scenes. What's his name? Trump's lawyer, the shark. He was there during the McCarthy thing. Someone's in the chat. Somebody tell me. Gosh, why can't I think about it?
You're not talking about Giuliani or whatever.
No, it was, I can see his face. I can't, the names. I'm horrible with names.
Okay.
But anyway, there's a whole connection there. If you take it back. But basically what happened is, and this is what I've distilled it down to, I think this distillation process, because, you know, the angel spirits, you know, and the vodka I'm drinking. Yes. Roy Cohn. And he was there during those hearings. He was integral in that. And then he was the lawyer for Trump for forever in New York. I mean, you know, and there's all these connections that go way back. I mean, and, you know, you look at it, it's like, oh, that's because, you know, they're dark people, you know, and this and that. And then you look at the other side. That's why I always say it's a choose your own adventure. You got to look at it. And you know what? I don't even care. Honestly, I don't even care anymore what it's all about, because really what it comes down to is we have to make a choice what direction we're at. And I think that's really where we're at. We have to seriously manifest what our future is going to be. It's being presented and laid out. And it's like, we can choose this path or this path, this pill or that pill. Which one do you want? And I think that's really where we're at. I mean, we are here to manifest a reality on this earth. We've come here to this point. All of us are here for a reason. And I mean, we can look at the dark side of it because everybody's flawed. I talked about it today, you know. Got a car holding my whole huddle bags full of flaws and sins, you know. Had to buy a whole car, you know. I need to get it here real quick because, you know, I need to load that thing up. But that's where we're really at. We have to really make a decision, I think. And that's what we're being led to. And that's why this whole thing is dragged out so long, because I think we need to step up and really put the energy out there and say, hey, this is the path we want. We want the path to, you know, the light, as opposed to the same old darkness and, you know, fight this person, fight that person, find a freaking enemy. And it's like, F the enemies. You know what? The light's going to destroy them anyway. Light destroys all the vampires. All we have to do is put the light out, and then the whole thing just melts. Just like in the movies, you know, it's just like put the light on them, you know, eat a lot of garlic. That's good too. That keeps them away until the light comes. You know, I'm waiting for all my friends to bring the light, you know, so I eat a lot of garlic to keep them away. But I mean, you know, at some point we really have to make that decision. And I think it's a spiritual battle that we're in. I really do. And I see it so clearly, really. And we all need to wake up. And I think this whole process over the last, I mean, really, where are we at? 2016 to now. It's
I
really
was
about
it
awakening
is
people.
2016. It is. I watched somebody posted Hillary getting hauled into the van, getting
Mhm.
arrested again. And I was like,
On 9/11.
on 9/11, I could watch this all day. It feeds my soul. Lock that
Nourishes
bitch
my
up.
soul.
Like I could watch it all day on a loop. I'm just and that is confirmation to me. Also, like there's little things like that where like my little tism brain like just kicks off and it's like, oh, and remember when was it Kylie or what's her name? Kai Trump
Kai. Yeah.
says thank you for the last 10 years
Mhm.
of supporting our family, blah, blah, blah. That all kicks off in 2016, guys. That's where
Yeah.
we are. And the stuff that I found today confirms that even more, all the way back to Nixon. We've got Nixon confirmations. Judy Shelton may be Ruta. I don't
She
know.
looks like Ruta. When you
Kinda
said
looks
that,
like
I'm like, oh, that kind of resonates with me.
just saying, I
Like a little
don't
Ruta
know.
girl.
Everybody, once again, choose your own adventure.
It
This
is.
my adventure today. So you guys watched, I think a lot of people saw Trump talking on the plane.
You know what that card is? It's the gold card. The Trump card, gold card. You know what that card is?
A lot of us
It's the gold card. The Trump card, gold card.
the gold card, the Trump card. At what stage in the game do you play the Trump card? So then that goes down this whole
I know.
rabbit hole. He also in that same interview where he's on the plane talking about
It's not even believable. And about 6 million jobs. And so it was a sick patient. It went through an operation on Liberation Day. And it's going to be a booming country, a very booming country. It's going to be amazing, actually. And we see it because we have trillions of dollars committed to come in, trillions.
So then he goes, sick patient, the operation is over. And I'm jumping ahead because I probably should let you guys watch the whole thing, but I'm just so excited about it.
Spill it, girl.
Poor Westwood's been getting all my little messages all day. So then this goes back to him talking about 4 booms. The markets are going to boom, which is what
Very well. It was an operation, like when a patient gets operated on,
patient.
and it's a big thing. I said this would exactly be the way it is. We have $6 or $7 trillion coming into our country, and we've never seen anything like it. The markets are going to boom, the stock is going to boom, the country is going to boom, and the rest of the world wants to see, is there any way they can make a deal? They've taken advantage of us for many, many years. For many years, we've been at the wrong side of the ball, and I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be unbelievable. The thing that people have to talk about, we're up almost to $7 trillion of investment coming into our country, and you'll see how it's going to turn out. Our country's going to boom.
That's 4 booms. That is a Q post.
Oh, it absolutely is. And so here, let me play a little devil's advocate. This is the choose your own adventure. You can look at it from the
I'm not
standpoint.
unpacking this whole story for you guys, so just hang in there. It gets
All right.
better.
It gets better. All right.
But go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is, there are people who are like, oh, come on. All the Q drops, all that stuff was planting the seed, to get everybody into this. And now he's just validating it. Obviously, he's validating it. There's no question that Trump is validating Q drops. He always has since the Easter Bunny out there on Easter the first time. So he's definitely validating it. And so, you got to look at it and say, all right, this is where you trust yourself and choose your own adventure, because you can say, okay, yes, it's all falling into line. Yep. Boom, 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 boom. It's all, bang, there it is. And then on the other side of it, you can say, oh, it's all a psyop. It was all set up. It was just this grand plan, to bring in this, the New World Order and, all that thing. Listen, we're going to get a New World Order. I mean, and You can look at it from the standpoint of it's a new world order, the George Bush style, or you can look at it, it's a new world order that, you know, of the ages, which is satanic. I mean, you know, you can look at it, it's a new world order from the standpoint of we are as human beings transforming things and making things happen. I mean, you know, and there's other, you know, channels that you can go down, you know, paths that you can go down. But
That's
I guess
really
the thing is that I distill down, and then I'll shut up. Just give me one
no,
second.
no, no. Go ahead.
The thing is, we have to distill that individually and understand, and I think that's really where we're at. I mean, we have to, it could go any direction we want. I think it's going a certain direction, but it's moves and counter moves, but really it comes down to us. We can choose that new world order. I mean, we're at a point, we're at a crossroads to where, you know, that problem, reaction, solution thing, you know, you burn it down and build back better. You know, that language does matter because, you know, the Phoenix rising, you know, all of that ties in to where that's happening right now. And it just depends on how you look at it and what you want to see on the other side of it. And that's, I think, a lot of it up to us and our participation level as human beings, and, you know, the batteries that we are, the energy, you know, generators that we are. We have to make that decision, and, you know, it's we have to do it. You know, it gets done like that if we just wake up tomorrow and say, yeah,
If no one's coming to
Change
save
it.
you and you have to save
ain't
yourself.
nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. You save yourself. And guess what? You save me. You save me. You save me. You save me. Lisa, you save me. And it comes down to we have to save each other. And we have to have the right mindset to where it's like, that's what I talked about today. And I'm like channeling stuff, you know, I don't even know what I'm talking about half the time when I'm driving, you know. And so that's where we're at. We have to use our, you know, energy that we're connected to the universe and God and, you know, the divine and all that stuff to choose that path and make it happen and see that world and envision it and manifest it. And I think we have to do it. I really do, because we can go 10 different directions right now. And, you know, hopefully we all choose the right adventure. And
I think
forever for humanity,
yeah.
for this planet,
But
the
putting it back
universe.
in the people's hands was always what Trump said. We're taking
And that's
it
where
out.
it should be, though. And we have to acknowledge that and accept that and make it happen.
Yeah. And that's about us taking personal responsibility so that we can have freedom. You have to take personal responsibility. You have to look at the stuff. You have to
Take the scissors and
wait for someone else to tell you how to vote or someone else to tell you what to put your funds into. You have to do the work. And so and we have to reclaim the tools that are out there and use them for good, not evil. Like when I named my channel The New Normal, it was way before COVID. And then people gave me shit about it. And they're like, I don't want a new normal. I want the old world. I want to go back before COVID. And I was like, look,
like Eddie Money, I want to go back. You know, no, the past is the past. You know, it's like it's like the F. Scott Fitzgerald book, you know, Great Gatsby, to where it's like, you know, here he is, you know, trying to find Daisy, you know, and in the past, you know, when they danced together and all that stuff. Now she's married, and, you know, he comes back, Gatsby comes back, and, you know, he's trying to relive history, and it's like, no. So we beat on boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly against the past, you know, looking at that green light of Daisy's, you know, the green light across the water in the dock. And it's like looking at the past for answers and solutions. And it's like, no, write the future.
right.
You've got the ability to write the future, and you can write it however you want. And that's where we're at right now.
Yes. All the tools are there. We can make the future
Pick
whatever.
them up and use them.
Yes. And so this is exactly what I was looking into today. So we're watching this. You guys remember what we just watched? The patient was sick. The patient had an operation. The operation is over. All of this. Well, then I just happened to be like looking at a Judy Shelton post, and I go down in the comments and see that this guy, well, because she said she's talking and she says it trumps it. And so, of course, I'm like, nod, respect. I get you, girl. You're saying she's saying like energy prices coming down, the dollar coming down against currencies of U.S. trading partners, interest rates coming down. These all state economic objectives that are part of the transformation to an economy powered by the private sector. That's us, guys. Private sector. Real economic growth trumps government overspending and increasing financialization of GDP. There's no way she put Trump in there, Trump's just by accident. So then
No coincidences.
this guy writes this thing on there and sends me down an entire rabbit hole. I might be able to pull it up just from that post. Here he is, Risk Take. Whoever Risk Take is, thank you. I am like your newest follower. And I loved it. So he says, oh, still on, Judy, 2026. And he posts this and says, Nixon abolished the gold standard in 1971. Oh, are we supposed to reintroduce it in 2024? He's thinking April 19th. He's on this April 19th. And I will tell you why he's on the April 19th. Now, remember that Trump's presidential action to end DEI and move us to a merit-based system kicks in right over that Easter weekend. Also, there's a video, which I can pull up for you if you guys need it, but I think everybody mostly remembers when we were during the Great Infection, where Trump said, I think we're going to wrap this up around Easter. I can play that later, or if you guys need it. But so it's interesting that Nixon uses medical references similar to the real Donald Trump. So just in like 1994 or 96, is it 96 or 94? I can't remember. Judy Shelton, oh, this is 92. So Judy Shelton gets this letter from Nixon, handwritten from Nixon. It's kind of hard to read, but it says, your post in the
It's all that cursive, Lisa. You know, it's hard for us to read the cursive anymore, right? Because they don't read the cursive.
It's also terrible cursive. Okay, so in the Wall Street Journal, this morning was brilliant. When an economy is sick, it needs strong medicine, but not so strong that it kills the patient. The patient. Did you guys hear that? I feel like I had.
Yes, Frankenstein me harder, baby. Boom.
Okay. It needs strong medicine, but not so strong that it kills the patient. Well, maybe we had an operation instead of having strong medicine. That's what I have to say. Anyway, he's going on talking about most bureaucrats make mistakes because they can't see the forest for the trees. Oh. Banking bureaucrats are among the worst. The IMF is trying to impose conditions which would be the appropriation. What is he saying? The would be appropriate. I don't know. Appropriate.
I read it earlier and I can't.
Okay. Third world nations, but which would be disastrous for a huge nation like Russia, attempting something never tried before. The transition from a communist commercial, I don't know, to a free market economy in a major nation. Warm regards, Nixon. Richard Nixon, 92. So then I start writing 92. Wait a minute. Okay, well, I guess that goes with, she had a book that came out. So she was studying the Soviet collapse. So she had a book that came out in 94, I believe, about the Soviet collapse. Then in 96, she writes, but this is definitely, do you guys notice? We're all tying this together. The patient, don't kill the patient. Nixon's writing her this letter, right? In 96, there's a review. Where is it? I can't find my, there, here we go. Here's a review. Oh, 94. So this is from 92. Okay. I guess the book didn't come out till 94 or whatever, but her article was written earlier. And it's called Money Meltdown. This is just I couldn't find the actual article, but I found somebody talking about the article, and they said that it's a she was predicted the Soviet crash and had a great deal of accuracy. Similarly, in the Money Meltdown, she warns of an imminent crisis, the deepening turmoil in international currency relations threatening the global order. And she offers thoughts on how it might be resolved, principally through an international gold standard. So that's the article that he's writing her, talking about the patient. And then Trump is saying the patient, not only in video multiple times, he messaged it or however, truthed it, however you say, because he doesn't tweet, he does the Truth Social thing. But this is huge. This is us going to the gold standard. Little Judy Shelton knew the plan all along.
Oh, little Judy Shelton. You know, when you did the Ruta thing, I'm like, yeah, that's her.
I think that's her. I
had no, you know, I thank you for putting that connection out there, because, you know, I look at it, you know, I went on eBay, you know, funny story, a little side note. There were 5 copies of that original Ruta book, the comic book, and they were saying, oh yeah, I don't even know, it's some ridiculous amount of money. And so I waited and I saw it go down every, you know, time the auction ended. I ended up getting the 5 copies and I have them here. So,
you're kidding me.
Oh, I got it. 5 original copies. So I need a guy to sign them. You know, I need a guy that knows, you know, the inside scoop to sign these things, because you know, I've got both of them, you know, here framed and all that stuff. But you know, those copies are,
that is really cool. Yeah.
But it's like a heart of gold, you know. It's just like we all have hearts of gold, you know. It's all the gold analogies, the sun, you know, and what it is, and all that stuff. And it's, I mean, that's what I mean. This is a whole spiritual thing. And you know, the fact that Trump brings this stuff up, you know, I mean, he smirks about it, you know, and laughs about it, you know, and he's just, you know, he's an actor on this stage, just like we all are, in ushering in this new age. And the question is, what's that new age going to be? And we have to, you know, hey, it's on a silver platter, baby. You know, here we go. And this is the way we're moving. And it's just, you know, you coming along or not. You're born to be here or not. And the mass of men, you know, I always say, lead lives of quiet desperation. Don't lead that life of quiet desperation. Engage yourself in the future, you know, make the future, because I mean, you know, be that cog in that, you know, in that magical machine that constructs the future. That's where we're at. I mean, you know, it's so exciting and so exhilarating. I love it. That's why I'm like awakening and finally, you know, that's how I feel right now, because, you know, here we are. You know, this is why I came here. And I think all of us came here. And that's why, you know, I reach out to so many people in the community. And I'm so thankful that Lisa dragged me to all these places, even though I didn't want to go, but I kind of wanted to go. You know,
guess you did.
I got the lovely Lyco and Lisa nudging me. What am I going to do? Oh, I guess I'm going, you know.
We have so much fun once we get there and we see all the people.
Yeah, but I mean, and look what happened, though. Look at the community that was built. I mean, look at the like-minded people that get it. And, you know, it's a very important thing. I mean, it really is that, you know, to awaken people and put that spark in them. And that's what I mean. You don't be a dead soul, you know, awaken and participate in this moment, because I think it's very important. And you never know what that one person, that butterfly effect, that one spark that you give, that one match in the darkness that you present might be that thing that, you know, just like hot boxing a cigarette, you know, when you're at a party, I ain't got no lighter. It's like, hey, come over here. And, you know, and that's what it is, though. It's that's transmitting that energy to the next person. And that's what we need to do right now. And I think that's where we're at. And we have to do that. We have to continue to have that fire. And I don't know, I got a lot of fire, and I'm ready, man. I'm burning. I'm a hunk of burning love right now. Let's light it up.
Sorry, I'm ordering her book. I got the last hardback on.
I love it.
Order placed, and it will get here April 15th and 16th.
Oh yeah, what a time to get there.
Yeah,
I love it.
Mia's birthday.
There are no coincidences. I mean, you know, people don't understand this, you know, but I mean, I've seen it so many times in my life, and I'm just like, the universe and, you know, just everything. It's just, you know, watch that movie Signs, you know, it gives you a little clue, it clues you into, you know, and then it might wake you up and, you know, to why you're really here. It's just, there are no coincidences. I mean, there just aren't. And just that magic of life and just that energy, that spark, that just, not the fake magic in Vegas. That's why I'm going to Vegas, because, you know, I want to bring the real light to Vegas. You know, that's why I got to drag Lisa there. You know, I got to get the lovely Litecoin Lisa there because, oh, it's a great energy.
I need a sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sponsor and a chaperone. That's all I need.
And a chaperone for sure. I definitely need a chaperone.
I got you. We're good.
In Vegas. Oh, look, there's 84.
We're putting the band back together. We're on a mission from God.
I wish we could get Bix to go, but I know he
I
wouldn't.
know. Holy cow.
Yeah.
This is great experiences with Bix. All that good energy. You saw it up there in Canada. I mean, just how he's got so much to offer, and it's like,
oh my gosh.
Text Amy right now. Amy,
Well, and
drag his ass
she's
to Vegas.
busy right now, but he's even in a room with, so they did like this breakout session of like him doing kind of like a little happy hour, and he did like the show with a bunch of songs, and of course he has all this knowledge about metals and all this kind of stuff. And I think some of those people didn't maybe follow him, or I don't know, but they didn't care. By the end of it, he has so much energy.
He does.
The majority of them know who he is, don't get me wrong, but there were some people that like hadn't heard all the songs or something. I don't know, not everybody was singing along, and I was like, what's wrong with you people?
You don't know this
Amy
song?
and I are there
Litecoin is the right coin? You don't know that? Come on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. And we had a great time, and he does have just so much energy and so much to give to the community. And it was amazing. Like, I'm watching people respond to him as well. Like, people really got what he was saying. They understood it. They understood that he's fighting for them, for freedom, for free markets. And so I don't know. I love watching him speak. So I really enjoy it. I'd love to get back out on the road with them, but we'll see.
I'm trying. You know, the tables have turned. The coin has flipped, and here I am. Imagine that. I'm the guy trying to drag Litecoin Lisa on the road.
I know.
What has happened?
Funny.
Where are we in this universe? What kind of bizarro world are we in?
Yeah. I don't know. It's so crazy.
I mean, there's so many great people though. I mean, really, I mean, you look at the spiritual energy, you know, of someone like that. I mean, just and just that magnetism. I mean, just that frequency that he puts out, and just to have that kind of spiritual warrior on your side, on your team is.
I mean, I have to tell you, when we were in Canada, like, you know, Jenny and I had just the best time, and we were so like amazingly honored to be able, like, every night we had dinner with Bix and Amy and Andy and his beautiful wife, Shauna. And like, to sit around and be amongst those kind of conversations at that level and understanding what goes on. And like you said, that energy. And if you think those men are amazing, you should meet their wives. Like, they're freaking amazing ladies.
I've always said that it's all about the ladies. It's all about the wives. I mean, it really is, because, you know, they're not out there doing that if they don't have like this super powerful woman, like, right there. You know, I mean, they really aren't. And you know, it's just such a, you know, an energy, you know, that symbiotic relationship that, I mean, it changes the world. I mean, it really does. I mean, when you see it and you vibe with it and you're a part of it and you're just like, okay, I knew you. I know you. I met you in a past life, ages, you know, all that stuff. I mean, really. I mean, that's how I feel, you know, and it's just like, oh, I feel like you can just do anything. Mm.
I just feel so affirmed after finding all that today, and that, you know, all the Judy Shelton stuff, then that letter. I mean, she put it out there. She put out that Nixon wrote her that letter affirming her money meltdown, which puts us back on a gold standard, talking about the sick patient. Trump is talking about the sick patient, had an operation on Liberation Day, and now we're seeing hand over fist countries coming to and saying zero tariffs. Vietnam, can't remember all of them. There were several countries just today that were coming forward and saying, you know what, zero tariffs.
All day long, like this.
Free markets. Yeah. Free market, free market, free market. Give me a call. And meanwhile, Klaus is stepping down and Trump's doing this.
King Charles is done.
Charles is done. Mm-hmm.
All of the leaders and all the bull crap, you know, and that. No, I know. There, it's definitely transforming.
All of these people are going away or have gone away. They are opening. Elon was opening a investigation on who's the girl. She's only been in like Congress for a couple months, and she has like 3 multi-million-dollar homes already. She's the one that said that she only got hired because she's black.
Oh yeah, the one that's all prettied up. Is that the
Yeah,
one
she's
that
big.
did the little
She's,
rally after the speech?
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just was like, really? It's so obvious. And
Unlimited money creates unlimited actresses and actors, I guess you could say.
And
You know,
once
when the
again,
funding's there, you know, you can keep the show going. Yeah, it's
well, and here's more proof of that is the COG, which, you know, Uncle Cliff taught us about before it ever started. He said, read this Law of War manual, learn about this. But listen to what this lady says. Oh, wait.
It's very devastating. But the thought that there were people, a machine that was put in place around him to continue that, to prevent the American people from knowing. You know, in law, there's an entire body of law around constructive things, right? Constructive eviction. You're not actually kicked out of your house, but you're constructively done so if there's no water, if the lights don't work.
Constructive and eviction.
Constructively not there. So the continuity of government preparation, the death pool.
The continuity of government preparation, the death pool. What did she just say?
That doesn't bother me so much is the fact that it was constructively, he was already gone. He had already stepped down. He was using auto pen. Continuity of government preparation, the death pool. That doesn't bother me so much is the fact that it was constructively.
Don't they show like that little
it's
spider?
Lisa, it's hard to hear. I can barely hear it, and that's what people said in
Really?
the chat. Can you turn it up, or I mean,
No,
no, it's not.
that's like the loudest.
The other ones were good. This one was really hard to hear.
Oh man. Okay. I don't have any way to turn it up. Entire body of law around and constructive things, constructing things. You're not actually kicked out of your house. You're constructively done so. If there's no water, if the lights don't work, this person was constructively not. This person was not there. So the continuity of government, the death pool, that doesn't bother me so much. So she's saying continuity of government. She's saying death pool, which a lot of you know they use like the little death pool guy in a lot of the comms. Well, maybe you guys don't know that. I see a lot of them. Or Deadpool, is that what it's called? I'll post it in Telegram so you guys can go watch it on your own in our Telegram group. There's a link to our Telegram group in the video. If you weren't able to hear that. But anyway, it's all like the whole movie thing. It's all coming together.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's so much truth in history, and it resonates so much, and I like tingle with it. Man, anyway, that's where we're at, though. I mean, that's really. I mean, you know, we're at the precipice. We're at the cusp. We're at the crossroads. We are, you know, whatever analogy you want to use. I don't have a little language, you know, even though I'm an English major. I'm an English major, but I don't use it in real life. You know, it's one of those things to where, you know, I always say I see the forest, but I can't identify the trees. I can see them all, but it's the big picture thing to me. And I feel that vibe, that big picture, and just where we're at, and just that energetic level of, just who we are and where we're at. And it's just, this is the time, this is the moment, this is why we're here. I mean, this is, you think about it, I talked about it earlier in the video. I made three videos this week. And then there's the letter from Nixon. I always resonated. Nixon was always one I resonated with, even as a young child. I was like, I know, everybody paints him as dark, but I'm like, man, this is a guy that when he gambled in the military, he would fold, and everybody hated him because he's like, well, I don't have a good hand, I'm folding, and that's how he won money, because he's not a gambler. He's just like, well, if I don't have a good hand, I'm out. But if he's got a good hand, he's going to collect the money. I don't know. It's just.
Because they can't see the forest for the trees.
It's the forest. It's the forest. It's the big picture. It's always about the big picture. Once you see the big picture, everything just falls into place. So that's kind of where we're at, I think. It really is. I mean, this whole spiritual thing, this spiritual stage we're on.
It's just so good. I just love all of it.
I know. And it's activating souls. And that's what I love. It's activating spirits. To be what you were born to be.
If you're not
now we're getting back into my wheelhouse. I love it.
Yeah, because you're learning. Like, if we're not learning and growing today, why are you here? Because
what are you doing? Life of quiet desperation. Why?
Learn, win or learn. That my husband taught me that. That's one thing they did when they were doing all their
innovate or die. I mean, adapt or die, whatever word you want to put on it. It's just like, that's what we are. And that's the whole crypto thing though. Your mom, and you and Charlie, I mean, sitting at the Mexican restaurant. I mean, it's just like, you learn to adapt or you die. I mean, and you just perish. Stay to the old system. Oh yeah. Put your money in a 401k. It'll be fine. Come on, man. I mean, we've got,
but trust yourself. Like you always say, Westwood.
100% trust yourself. We are, and that's what I envision all the time. And I say it all the time, but I see it. I truly see it. It is a spiritual battlefield. And there are tools and weapons all over the place. There might be a mace. I mean, there might be a laser gun. There might be all these things, and you just pick them up. Just pick them up, because we're like, transcending time, so there's a mace, bow and arrow, laser gun, it's like a Gatling gun, whatever it is, pick it up, whatever it is you resonate with, because that's the one that you're going to fight this eternal battle with right now, where you're at. You pick it up, and there's economic tools, there's spiritual tools, there's all these things on the battlefield, and we go out there and we're like, well, we're going to fight this battle. It might be easier. It depends on what weapon you choose. Choose your path. It's Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Choose your destructor. It's like, okay, I'll take the flamethrower. I'll melt that marshmallow. And it's just, I don't know. It's a great time to be alive. I mean, it really is. And that's why I think we've manifested from this cosmic bus stop to come down and do this thing that we're doing right now. And I mean, all the beautiful people, there are no coincidences. This has been done age after age and time after time. And we have found each other, and we're here for a reason. Don't think that you don't have something to offer is really what it comes down to. And just trust your gut, trust your soul, everything that's in you, your being, and just do it. Don't live a life of regret at this point. Now's not the time to do that.
House. Not at my house. Mine are.
It's the dogs. It's my black.
Yeah, mine are tiny and well behaved
over here.
Up there. He has the wild ones. Yeah.
Play the Iggy Pop song. No, that's the.
And you'll know if you join us in June at the Westwood meetup.
Absolutely. We're pre-gaming in Vegas, though, at the end of May.
Possibly.
Yes. And I'm trying to drag Lisa there. And Charlie, if he wants to come, but I don't know if he wants to.
So
I'm trying to activate Lisa, because, she activated me in so many times, to drag me out on the road. And I'm trying to get her to pull her into Vegas so we can, take that artificial light and shut it down and bring that natural light.
If you guys want that to happen, everyone needs to manifest that my house sells
tomorrow.
Closed. Yeah. Before.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, not closed, but tomorrow.
Well, you have people coming tomorrow, don't you?
look at it tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, and that's it. And that's all it is. All it
Those
takes is
are the
one
right
person.
people.
How many times have I said that?
Buy
All it takes
this
is one
house,
person.
make it theirs, and they can have wonderful, nice memories in it like I have. And but I have to be able to, because it's going to be a lot of work getting the transition.
So if it sells tomorrow and you get a contract signed and they give an escrow deposit, whatever it is, you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Oh, I love it. The lovely Litecoin Lisa
People
going to Vegas.
some energy.
It's going to happen. I'm going to manifest it tonight, and everybody else is going to manifest it. It's done. It's a done deal. Just saying. Next week on Happy Hour, you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I got an offer on the house and it's going to close. And
We did just have an offer on the other house, or we have a contract going. So
there you go.
that closes in and we're done and all that. So
Everything happens at the right time for the right reason. I mean, I always say the mind of man plans his ways, but the Lord directs his step. It's the of mice and men thing. The original poem goes back to Robert Burns, and that's really what it comes down to. The mind of man plans his way, but the Lord directs his step. And, it's just, there's so much spirituality, that that's why we're here. So.
well, it makes sense because we're not, when Cliff explained we're recreating 22 trillion times per second.
Yeah. And
The whole Matrix thing, Elon making all the nods to the Matrix. If you guys didn't see my show with Skullcap on Wednesday, go watch it. It was great. We had a great time, and we were talking about once again, more Q posts, more nods to Q, the Matrix, all of that. For those of you thinking nothing's happening, it's happening.
And if you don't feel it,
Yeah,
you better wake up. You better dream on it.
that's right.
Because it's there. You're just not watching the signs. Really, you're not paying attention.
Yeah, Disney's burning. There is one thing that I wanted to play before because it has been disappearing off the interwebs.
Oh yeah, 14 money printers.
Yeah, apparently this is being.
You told me about it.
It's
crazy.
It's what you
It's
call
insane.
magic money computers at
Oh,
the
yeah,
treasuries.
yeah. Well,
So tell us about it, because I never heard of that until you brought that up.
Okay, so you may think that the government computers all talk to each other, they synchronize, they add up what funds are going somewhere, and it's it's coherent. There's and that the numbers, for example, that you're presented as a senator, are
This is
actually the real numbers.
Sign on
One would think.
One would think.
Okay.
They're not.
You're
Okay. They're not totally wrong, but they're probably off by 5% or 10% in some cases. So I call it magic money computer, any computer which can just make money out of thin air. That's magic money.
So how does that work?
It just issues payments.
And you said there's something like 11 of these computers at Treasury that are sending out trillions in payments?
They're mostly at Treasury. Some are, but there's some at HHS, there's one or two at State, there's some at DOD. I think we found now 14 magic money computers.
14, okay.
They just send money out of nothing.
Out of nothing, thin air. That's the infinity symbol.
Bing bong, bing, 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 bing. It's done.
But that's the infinity symbol that that Bix talks about in the sand, that Ruta writes in the sand. Little Judy Shelton writes in the sand.
And isn't that the sun? When
Sunny
you
meltdown.
watch the sun in the sky, doesn't it do the infinity symbol if you track it?
Maybe.
All this stuff is so. We know this, but what happens is, and Cliff's talked about this. We have to we'd go nuts. We'd be psychopaths. We'd be in a mental institution if we're still connected to the source. And so when we come down here, we're inundated in this, we call it meat suit. We call it this layers of the onion, all that stuff. And so we got to break through free from that and reconnect to it and break. Yeah. Otherwise we go nuts if we had all the memories from the past, but then we tap into it and it's like, okay, I have this resonant memory of what we are and who we are. And okay, well, what difference does it make You know, why not take a chance? Take a chance on me. You know, and that's really what it is. I mean, we just have to. What are you doing? What are you doing with yourself? I mean, now's the time. I mean, you know, here I am, 52 years old, and I'm like, do something. You know, do something.
There's a lot to do. Interesting. I posted a little something, and it didn't. Usually when I post, it's posts that I said it and you said it, and it only posted on YouTube and in Twitch. It didn't post on Twitter, and it didn't post on any of those streaming platforms that I. So here's what I said. This is what I believe about Elon. Anyway, choose your own adventure, everyone.
100%. It's up to you. I mean, you can choose whatever the future is, whatever we want to manifest here on this earth. That's why we're here. Up to us. It really is. And so, you know, you can leave it behind and say, yeah, shit. You get up there in the cosmic bus stop and you look down and you say, yeah, I could have done better. I probably should have taken more chances. You know, yeah, I had all these tools and I didn't really use them. Do you want to be at that point? I mean, really, how nice would it be to sit back and say, hey, give me some scotch. Give me some of that high dollar, high shelf scotch instead of that low dollar vodka, you know, and sit back and enjoy it and say, you know what, that was a good ride. We did a lot of damage down there. We really effed up the vampires. You know, I mean, that's the kind of place I want to be in, you know, and, you know, you can choose to go back and, you know, fight them again in another age, but why not do it now? I mean, what are they going to do? What can they take from you? I mean, they've taken enough. Stop letting them take it and just do you, boo. I mean, know who you are. I mean, really, what are they going to do to you? Nothing. Vanquish them.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to talk about the CIA confirming Hitler left Germany, went to Argentina, and gave birth to, well, he didn't give birth, but Angela Merkel. I don't know. You know, just saying. Apparently he had 2 kids. The problem I have with these reports are that it's the CIA confirming stuff.
Right. So how do you know? How do you know? How do you really know? And that's the thing. I'm pissed off about it. You know, I'm waiting for the Epstein file. Somebody goes to jail. Meanwhile, I'm like, you know what? In the big cosmic scheme of things, it's like they really don't matter. You know, going forward is really what matters. You know, burn them all in the dustbin of history, and move on, and you know, really ascend as human beings while we're here. To, you know, F that. You know, who really cares? I mean, they
is
really
this
are
more
insignificant.
distraction that, you know, on the day that the JFK files came out, the Presidio files came out as well, and not a word from mainstream media about the military being involved with MK Ultra, kidnapping children, assaulting them. We're
right,
on
and logging into your bodies through all the digital framework and all that stuff. And it's like, I know they're doing it. I know they're doing it all the time. But you know what? I'm like, yeah, whatever. You can log in all you want. F you. You know, and that's the attitude I have, because it's just, again, you know, everything I say, I'll say it publicly. I don't give a crap. I talked to my mother today. She's like, well, on the phone. She's like, well, we probably shouldn't talk about this on the phone. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. F you. You know, and that's my attitude. It's just like, what are you going to do to me? What are you going to do to me?
You mean to the people listening, not to your mother?
Yeah, all the people, not mom. But, you know, it's just like, you know, I am done living in fear. I am done
with you.
Done with it. It's like, what are you going to do to me? Drag me out. Okay, yeah. Waste your resources on that.
Yep. I think
I'm just some guy living in the middle of a cornfield. I mean, come on. There's much more greater power than I have, you know. And
maybe we can make a little a yellow road, a yellow pathway in a cornfield.
We could. Yeah, get some silver slippers, tap them together.
Might be
no place like home.
Because you had the power all along. Oh my gosh, it was just such
not the power. That's the thing. They have nothing. Chuck Schumer in 1996 talking about, talking like a good conservative, you know, and then now that's like, you're all a bunch of stooges. I mean, you don't matter. You know what I mean? And, you know, I've kind of disconnected from all that stuff. That's why my list, I'm like, well, I don't know, jot down some things. But, you know, again, it's like I said today, I'm living my own path. I'm gonna do my own thing. And it's like, F y'all. You ain't gonna control me. I'm done. Carve out the future. Let's manifest a new reality. People don't matter.
Yeah. I'm with you. Free men don't ask permission. And I'm tired of, like, when Johnny said the whole thing about they can make all the rules for typewriters they want. We're not using
I'm
those.
using a typewriter, so have fun with that.
That's right. That's perfect.
They call the rules for Bud Light you want. I don't drink it. F you. And that's it.
Yeah. And seeing all
Well,
these
Westwood state of mind.
do the mescaline state of mind. Yeah, you can do that. But seeing all these pieces tie together where Nixon is talking about the patient 30 years ago and Judy Shelton's putting that letter out there. She put it out there a couple of years ago, but somebody brought it back up. And all you have to do, it's all out there. You just have to look. You have to be curious. You have to ask questions. You have to choose to see the information out there. And then you choose freedom because you're taking personal responsibility. But it's all up to you. So I hope
empower yourself. And that's in relationships and everything. Empower yourself. I mean, you know that. Empower yourself. You get to a point. It's like, I'm empowered. I'm not going to take this anymore. Yeah. I'm done. And you walk away and you live your own life and you follow a new path. We all do that, and then collectively we do that, and then it all changes overnight.
Yep.
Done. It just goes.
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Born for this moment, baby. I'm here.
All right. I'll see you guys on the other side. Thank you to everybody making such great comments in the live chat. Love to all of you. Can't wait to see you guys at the Westwood meetup. Go to clintwestwood.net for more information about us doing a meetup in Metamora, Illinois in June. And I look forward to seeing everybody there. We will talk to you all soon.
Love y'all.
See you on Spaces tonight. Follow Westwood on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
America's not the government, people. The America is you. It is the Grand fucking Canyon, the Rocky Mountains, the deserts of the Southwest, the Pacific fucking Ocean, the Atlantic fucking Ocean. It is the grandest continent. And what the fuck have you people done? You have turned yourself into sheep, every goddamn one of you.